Welcome to Created Healthy. I'm Dawn Combs. It's a common idea that God gave us everything we need in nature, but do we believe it enough to walk that out in truth? Often the very same people who say this go looking for answers on how to use food and medicine from man-made sources. Everything man creates comes with a user's manual. Why would God be any different? I challenge you to join me in seeking revelation about our body, mind, soul, and spirit health by digging into His written word and in practicing pure science in the visible world of His creation. I think anytime we see stories or themes repeating in the Bible, we have to really slow down and take a good, strong look at what God is trying to say, because when He bothers to repeat the story, He's repeating the lesson. I'm in 2 Samuel 13 through 15 today, and we have some of the sons of David, and David's parenting examples are not good. We've just seen him he's taken multiple wives, and his most latest wife possibly could have been a rape situation that became a pregnancy. Not a good example. And I've talked about this before, the importance of your parents setting strong examples, because it's all you know. But here we have Amnon, and he loves his sister Tamar. Now, Tamar is his half-sister, and obviously in the light of today, 2025, this is completely objectionable. At the time, not as objectionable, that he is in love with his sister Tamar. She is his father's daughter, but not his mother's daughter. And he is so in love with her that he, with a cousin, devises this ruse to get her to take care of him while he's sick. And he lets her know that he is just absolutely in love with her and needs to have her. And she tells him, all you need to do is ask our father, and I don't think he's going to refuse you. But unfortunately, Amnon is not willing to risk being told no, and he also isn't going to be patient. And so he rapes Tamar. And we see this next. Absalom is her brother, her proper brother, mother and father brother. And he's pretty angry. David's pretty angry, but Absalom actually takes action and takes revenge. And we see this in another part of our story of the Israelites, where brothers take revenge for a rape, and it winds up messing up their birthrights and changes the way that Israel is structured. But here we have brother against brother violence, and it causes Absalom. This is an unforgivable thing, and Absalom has to go on the run. Of course, we've got David, who is comforted by the fact that Absalom has taken care of the problem, because he couldn't. And maybe he couldn't step up and do something with Amnon because people in glass houses. He couldn't very well stand on virtue and say, whoa, you raped your sister, we're going to have to kill you now. Or some other punishment. Any punishment would have been lovely, but he didn't have any moral high ground to stand on. This is definitely something that you've got to be careful of in parenting. You aren't actually ever going to be effective in disciplining a child if they've seen you do the very thing that you are disciplining them for, without you at least trying to correct it or live in a different way. It's very difficult to hold that moral high ground enough to mean something. So David doesn't do anything about this. He just he's angry. Big deal. That doesn't help Tamar, and Absalom takes action, but it causes him to have to go and flee and live apart. And this is the start of a split in David's home. We're going to start to see some of the other things that Nathan prophesied beyond the loss of his child with Bathsheba. This is the breaking of the peace in his home. He's starting to see this of everything that he's done. And first, I suggested yesterday that he paid because the child did not get a strong enough foundation to be able to live. And the child paid. Here, we have the loss of peace in his home because he himself has been a very poor role model and leader. He has not led his household. He may be doing okay as a king, but he is sucking it up at home. And the children that he's raising are running amok, and they, without a strong leader, they have learned what the sins that he has done and are following. And so now David is starting to feel the other part of this curse that he's brought about or brought onto himself because he didn't wait. Just like Amnon here didn't wait. I know we've all been in that situation. We think that God might bring something to us. I know because I'm talking so much about health in this podcast, so many people want relief and they can't wait for God to do the work. And so they go and take the matters into their own hands. We saw it with Sarah. I can't wait for what God said, that he was going to give me a child. I'll give my husband my maid. Amnon is doing this too. I can't wait for my father to bless this, and so that I can have the good that I think I want. Because he might say that this isn't right. He might say I have to go elsewhere, and I just really want what I want. And so he takes it instead of waiting. And this is a big sin. It's a big sin. Because God may have had that good for us in mind, but once we take it out of his timing, it's no longer in his plan, and it causes major disruption in our lives. It causes us to create more illness and more disruption and lack of peace around us than was meant to be. I wish that we could all wait, that we could all have the patience and trust and faith. This is what walking in God's path means, is trusting that sometimes the things that we see right in front of us either aren't for us or they aren't for us right now. If we find ourselves reaching for it or taking it, it's going to go badly. We've got to wait. We've got to trust. And that's the only way that the good is going to come to us. I pray that God is blessing you today, and that you consider coming and spending another day with me. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share with a friend. And I'm always interested in hearing what God is laying on your heart. So drop me a rating or review, or join the conversation on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube at Dawn Combs Really.